Hello, I'm Beige Dingleberry. While many of you thought that this was a throwaway bit that would only occur once, it turns out we've only just begun to scratch the surface of the shit stain that is Rollo Tomassi. While tonight's documentary is gonna take some rather dark twists and turns, I'd like to begin with something light. Let's start with the name Rollo Tomassi. There's been some conjecture as to where it come from. Let's go ahead and take a look at the evidence.
So this is one of the major receipts that we had with people that wanted, and this was sent to me by an anonymous person that said, look, these guys again are screwing people over. They're trying to act like this. Now this is Rollo Tomassi's page here, George Miller. So basically, it's not Rollo Tomassi. You're saying, you ain't no Italian, motherfucker. You ain't Italian, motherfucker. You're George Miller, motherfucker. You ain't no motherfucking Italian.
Nope, he's not.
You don't know shit about Italian. Gonna try to be like Rollo Tomassi, motherfucker. You ain't no Italian. George Miller. So fucking George.
Yes, Italian. We're Italians, motherfuckers.
For many of you watching, this information is shocking, as it is directly conflicting and conflicts with the public nice guy persona of Rollo Tomassi, the Mr. Rogers Godfather hybrid personality he has crafted in the public space of the Manosphere for years. The man who tells you like a broken record that he's not in it for the money, but will privately state that he's a get-rich-slow guy. To understand the Rollo Tomassi of the Manosphere, we must look at the original character that inspired Rollo's choice of this name, from the 1997 major motion picture LA Confidential, one of Rollo's favorite movies of all time. It should be noted that many Manosphere icons have unusual names like this: Mystery, Style, Socrates, Goldman Unleashed, and myself, Dream, just to name a few. Chosen names are not given names, however. They are chosen for various reasons by the individual. Consistent among these reasons, however, is that the name appealed to their core values in some way. They like the name enough to not only choose it, but retain it over many years, and intentionally be known by this name to millions of readers, fans, and viewers. In our community, Rollo is unique among top creators in that he picked the name of a secret villain, a police captain played by actor James Cromwell, celebrated as a small-time hero by his local community, while secretly being a murderous, backstabbing traitor to his brothers at the LAPD, and therefore the community as a whole.
Speaking of movies and cinema, in the last documentary, we mentioned that Rollo signed up for theatre in high school in hopes of getting a performance-mandated kiss. He claims that he put theatre behind him to pursue music as a more lucrative means of smashing mad puss. It turns out his theatre career has continued. While he has not been able to land any roles, I do have footage of him auditioning for commercials. Please pay special attention to his gay face, as I'm sure it's the reason he did not land the role.
I have done a lot of acting, by the way, as all of you black pill fuckwits want to smear me with. That's fine. Yes, I have done acting before. When people go and they show, oh look, here's Rollo Tomassi and he's doing this. He's doing some tryout or some shit. Like I think I did a commercial tryout back in like 2013, 2014, and I left it on one of my my YouTube channels. It's gone now. Don't go looking for it. I'd already deleted it. But of course they go and they download that and they go, oh look, see, this is what it's really all about.
There's an epidemic among adults in Nevada. It's called FOMO, and it's going viral. Chris Jones has more. Talk to your doctor and get caught up on your vaccines before it's too late. There's an epidemic among adults in Nevada. It's called FOMO, and it's going viral. Chris Jones has more. Talk to your doctor and get caught up on all your vaccines before it's too late. There's an epidemic amongst adults in Nevada. It's called FOMO, and it's going viral. Chris Jones has more. Talk to your doctor and get caught up on your vaccines before it's too late. Scotch.
Because that's where they're at. That's the mentality right now.
Rollo is part of the PUA community, which stands for Pick Up Artist. More like PU, cause you stink, stupid. Well, you might think that he would be slinging dick till the day he dies. Like many pickup artists, he's actually married and settled down. Let's take a moment to look at Rollo's wife.
What would you rate this wife, this woman here? This looks like, like a scary creature here with bangs. Gross, below average, busted trash. Okay, and a lot of you can't stomach these comments.
You might be wondering, how did Rollo land this hottie boom body? Well, it turns out she's a drunk party girl.
Say that again?
Didn't you meet your wife at a gig? Because you did, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, I met her at the place you're not supposed to meet quality women at, right? I mean, you're supposed to meet quality women at the library and Barnes and Noble and the coffee shop, right? Or Bible study, right? That's where you're supposed. No, I was at a gig, and it was up. I won't tell you where. It was in Northern California. Let's say that. She was there with her girlfriends. She was on a girls' night out, actually. And she never, she never would go to this club like on normally, because it was like kind of a rock club. She was like more into like sort of poppy kind of music kind of thing. And she was with her girlfriends, and I'm wondering how much to divulge of this, but yeah, I did meet her at a club. And
so here's a question for you, Rollo. So what made her like the one to marry versus?
She looked hot. She was she looked like she was fun in bed, to be honest with you, and that's really all I was thinking about at the time when I was with her, because I was sort of coming out of that BPD relationship. I was already probably about 4 months out of dealing with my ex BPD, and I was spinning plates, and she was. Which one?
Was Mrs. Tomassi a party girl at the time?
She was a plate that I was spinning at the time.
Like a party girl, like, drank.
Not a lot. She went out. She had girlfriends, but she wasn't like, it wasn't like she was like getting out hammered. And she was, my wife's always been kind of responsible. Like I said, she comes from a very like conservative Christian family, and I know that doesn't mean jack, but that was something that she was never like over the top. She never did drugs or anything like that. She drank, of course, but like a lot of guys, when it comes to the women that they have like preferences for, like, oh, I like to get with fat women, or I like to get with older women, or I like to get with girls with black hair or small tits or big tits, whatever. Those are usually the archetypes or the beliefs of those preferences or fetishes are what has been successful for the guy in the past.
Didn't you meet your wife at a gig? Because you did, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, of course I did. I met her at the place you're not supposed to meet quality women at, right?
You might think that a talented pickup artist will be smashing maid bus from the cradle to the grave. However, it is a quite common practice for these pickup artists to get married in secret and then hide their wives and pretend to still be smashing mad puss.
For example, Donovan Sharp got secretly married to his girlfriend back in 2019. A lot of people don't like that, don't want to hear that, but that's what happened. He even had a 1-year anniversary in Florida back last year in 2020. But people don't know about this. Donovan goes anti-marriage on his channel all day long, right? If his audience knew that, he'd lose a lot of money. So he lies about it consistently, over and over and over again, just like Rollo. These are the ways these guys get defrauded in ways they don't realize. You have a guy go on YouTube, bitch about marriage, bitch about this and that, and then what does he do? He gets private married behind the scenes. He has a wedding and a honeymoon to Hawaii or some shit. That's why he didn't speak at Poland 21 convention, but he spoke later in the year in Orlando.
Well, you might be able to forgive Rollo for getting married and not having the body of a sex god. Did you know that he is also broke?
The minute he goes into his personal life, it's all a lie. Everything is not only a lie, it's the opposite. It's the inversion. For example, he says constantly, like, I'm not in it for the money, I'm not in it for the money, I'm not in it for the money. Dude, 80% of his income or more has been coming from the Rational Mail for like years now. He's definitely in it for the money. He's in it for the money more than anyone else.
How he foreclosed on his house. Okay, he's also broke. You can only ride the book fame for so long.
He's a money fucking grabbing scumbag. He's more money hungry than anyone I've ever seen, ever. And I've worked with hundreds of speakers. So this LARP, like he pretends to be this like red pill Santa Claus when the opposite is true. He's a super greedy guy who will dox and burn men to make an extra buck and get another book sale by hitting, mainstream media, like a news cycle kind of thing. So that's just one example. He's just a massive fraud with that shit, massive liar. He constantly he harps on this, right? Oh, I'm this nice guy, I'm red pill Santa Claus, I'm not in it for the money. He works 60 hours a week on the Rational Mail, and most of his income has been coming from this for years, by far. So it's a fucking lie, and that's just one example. Him being a rock star in his 20s, all this bullshit, that's a massive lie. I think he hasn't fucked that many women. He wasn't good back then. I think he did get laid a little bit, but it was mostly kind of like, fool stuff, just like randomly bumping into these chicks. Or just kind of having that status, doing some gig at some random bar. He's never been good with women.
In our last video, we went over some of the troubles that the MGTOW community has had slipping into homosexuality. It turns out that this is not just some random happenstance, nor is it predatory behavior on the part of the homosexual community.
We have the screenshots. I'm popping them up right here. This is the screenshots from the back door on the
It's AdWords. Yeah. AdWords.
So this is the AdWords that somebody has to purchase for it. Matter of fact, as you can see, the sixth one down says dating websites gay. The seventh one is dating websites for gay men. Now at the top you see the rationalmale.com. So if somebody were to type in dating websites for gay men, his website comes up. If they type in dating websites gay, Rollo Tomassi comes up. If they type in free gay men dating sites, which is the fourth one from the bottom, the rationalmale.com comes up.
If this was not bad enough, it turns out that Rollo Tomassi actually tried to overthrow both the 21 Club and the Red Man Group. And not only did he try to overthrow these groups, but he doxed over 50 men's. I'll let them go ahead and tell the tale.
My fellow Manospherians, I'm Anthony Dream Johnson, founder and CEO of the 21 Convention, co-founder and CEO of the Red Man Group, chairman of 21 Studios. Today I'm speaking to you because of the growing crisis of honor, integrity, and masculinity itself, plaguing and holding back our community from true greatness. I'm directly referring to the recent controversy surrounding the actions of an author and self-proclaimed godfather of our community. The purpose of my words today are to review, bring clarity to, and summarize the real-life actions and choices of former speaker, business partner, and friend known to you as Rollo Tomassi. I make this video with a heavy heart, the reputation of my life's work on the chopping block, and with great hope and optimism for the future of this worldwide community of men and fathers. To begin, on June 2nd, 2019, Rollo Tomassi was confronted in a private 21 Convention speaker chat by several alumni speakers, including but not limited to George Bruno, Socrates, Alexander Cortez, Ivan Throne, and to the witness of many more. This confrontation focused on several related issues, including an incident from the 21 Convention in 2018 involving Rollo Tomassi and feminist New York Times reporter Nellie Bowles. The associated long-standing conspiracy to conceal the true nature of these events and related unethical conduct by Rollo Tomassi in his association with the 21 Convention, a self-declared silent partner. In response to the mounting evidence of this unethical conduct, in close counsel with top alumni speakers, and consistent with our long-standing policy and terms, I chose to immediately remove Rollo Tomassi as a speaker from all future 21 Convention events, as well as his regular involvement in the Red Man Group show. Rollo worked to immediately write and publish a blog post that same day, titled 21 Convention Dates Cancellation. In this post, he announced his removal from all 21 Convention events, encouraged attendees to seek refunds on their tickets, in contrast to our long-standing all-sales final policy, and stated then, as a minority owner of the Red Man Group company, that the podcast itself would be dissolved and the channel disbanded. Statements that significantly damaged the Red Man Group brand left thousands of fans in confusion, and that Rollo had zero confirmation of or authority to make of any kind. On June 8, 2019, my company released a 15-page public statement providing facts, evidence, and detail on Rollo Tomassi's sudden removal from the 21 Convention and Red Man Group brands. You can review this document in a link beneath this video at any time. Later revealed to the public by YouTuber and Red Man Group panelist DDJ is that these actions by Rollo Tomassi were not isolated or accidental, but part of a larger pattern of behavior involving a failed coup on the Red Man Group, and as revealed today, were part of the greatest conspiracy our community has ever seen. In Rollo's own documented language, to burn down the whole of the Manosphere, assassinate the legacy, credibility, and future of all 21 Convention events, to conspire with other speakers to aggressively take over the Red Man Group, and most importantly, use its function as a parallel speaker organization to build a new Manosphere summit over the dead body of the 21 Convention, the longest running, largest, and most powerful event the Manosphere has ever seen. 17 events across 5 countries over the past 13 years. Hundreds of speakers, thousands of videos, enjoyed by millions around the world. This disgusting, effeminate conduct by Rollo and his allies amounts to more than the attempted murder of my life's work that began at 17 years old, but was an attempted coup in our entire community. In a word, treason. Let's pause and reflect now on a foundational principle that Rollo Tomassi is fond of repeating in his work for the Rational Male series. Behavior is the only true measure of motivation and intent. One more time, right from Rollo's blog. Behavior is the only true measure of motivation and intent. I happen to agree, Rollo, so let's have a look at your behavior and see what comes up. This is Rollo Tomassi speaking at the 15th edition of the 21 Convention in October of 2018, giving his main presentation to over 200 men gathered from around the world to hear him and dozens of other speakers present their ideas on our platform.
Man, how many people here right now are here, and if your work found out about it, that you would be in trouble? Anybody? Hey, how many people here would you lose do you think you would lose your job? I think you probably would. Let's say I already know that Goldman lost his job.
Just 2 days later, Rollo would disobey a direct order from myself as CEO and the will of over 10 speakers who I counseled with on the issue of Nellie Bowles, a potentially hostile mainstream media reporter who could put the privacy, identity, and futures of our attendees at major risk, something we had promised in good faith to safeguard them from, to the best of our ability, consistent with all 21 convention events. Seen here, Rollo Tomassi directly invited the New York Times reporter with a history of pieces on speakers like Dr. Jordan Peterson to a private social gathering for our attendees and speakers. Directly invited the New York Times reporter with a history consistent with all 21 convention events. Seen here, Rollo Tomassi directly invited the New York Times reporter with a history of writing hit pieces on speakers like Dr. Jordan Peterson to a private social gathering for our attendees and speakers. He had been speaking with this woman for months in writing, and yet remained sitting during the entire encounter like the silent coward he is. Rollo would go on to deny any involvement in her appearance that night, both in writing and orally to the speakers numerous times, as well as myself. With every opportunity to take masculine responsibility, own his mistakes, apologize, and seek redemption, he chose to instead cover it up in a web of lies and misdirection for over 8 months. He lied to my face, he lied in writing, and he lied by omission. He lied to my friends, my speakers, my brothers, my top customers, and more recently, over 40,000 of his own fans. Here are the faces of just some of the men he lied to. George Bruno, Ed Lattimore, Donovan Sharp, Richard Cooper, Alan Roger Curry, Tanner Guzzi, Jack Donovan, Ivan Throne, Texas Dom, Jack Murphy, Hunter Drew, Socrates, Alexander J.A. Cortez, Goldman Unleashed, Elliot Hulse, Dr. Sean T. Smith, and more.
So there we have it, folks. Rollo Tomassi. Divorce, bankrupt, and willing to dox over 50 of his mates from the Manosphere to try and get ahead and become the next Jordan Peterson. Rollo Tomassi. He is a grifter, a piece of shit, and deserves to be exposed and chased off of the internet. As always, I would like to thank my Patreons, Kenny TV, Casey, Nat Clow, Jordan, and some other people. I don't really remember the names right now because I'm kind of drunk and high, and it's kind of the end of the night right now. But anyway, join the Ian Ellis Patreon, and fuck Rollo. Yeah, shout out to Mom the Net, and that's a wrap.